Madam President, reserving the right to object. I have real concerns about my colleagues' efforts to subvert the legislative process and push through a bill without due consideration from the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. I know my distinguished colleague from Florida is very interested in these issues. I hope he would ask his leadership to put him on the committee because he consistently comes to the floor and wants to circumvent the committee. This is not the first time. Let me be very clear. Hamas is a terrorist organization, and the terrorists who lead Hamas have no regard for human life, whether they be the life of innocent Israelis targeted by their rocket attacks or the Palestinian families they constantly put in harm's way. Israel has every right and responsibility to defend herself from attacks against their civilians, and the United States does not and will not ever provide funding to Hamas. Neither of those statements are up for debate. In fact, I would argue that every single member of this body agrees with those assertions. Indeed, the Senate has a long history of carefully crafting foreign aid programs with robust oversight, as well as sanctions that target Hamas and its supporters. With that in mind, there's simply no reason this bill can't go through regular order and sustain a markup in the Foreign Relations Committee. I looked at the dates of introduction and then its subsequent referral. It's less than 3 weeks. We've done it before, and we can do it again. As the chair of the Foreign Relations Committee, I've shown that I prioritize moving serious, bipartisan legislation. This bill in question is not a serious attempt at legislating. It's a partisan talking point. Had the senator from Florida, who is the chair of the Republican Senatorial Campaign Committee, or any of the bill's sponsors had a genuine interest in asserting Congress's role in foreign policy and the hard work that goes into legislating, they would have gone through the regular order of the committee process. They did not. Instead, I imagine they would rather relish in a tweet proclaiming that Democrats support taxpayer funding of Hamas or oppose defending Israel. And all I can say to this is enough of using the U.S.-Israel relationship for partisan political purposes. It does damage to the United States. It does damage to the state of Israel. I'm proud of my legislative efforts to defend Israel for over 3 decades. And I would argue that the facts that these efforts have been bipartisan speak to the strength of the U.S.-Israel relationship. Both Republicans and Democrats share a long track record of working together to defend Israel's right to exist and legislating accountability for U.S. taxpayer dollars spent overseas. But we have to do the work. And I do believe there are senators who are genuinely interested in working towards that goal. The truth is, we already have a number of laws and regulations in place regarding the delivery of life-saving humanitarian relief. As written, this bill, by way of example of why we have bills go through the committee so they can be worked on, seems intended to ensure that nobody in Gaza could ever receive any of this support. The language is written so broadly that, for example, before delivering clean water or water infrastructure, the president would effectively have to certify that anyone related to Hamas would never drink that water or drink from a water fountain that carried that water. That's simply absurd. I would welcome a robust discussion on the ways we can continue to ensure that taxpayer dollars intended for life-saving humanitarian relief in Gaza and elsewhere can get to those who need it the most, and certainly evade and avoid the hands of Hamas. Let's remember why we invest in foreign aid programs in the first place. We do so in pursuit of our common humanity, of our values, and our own security interests. So let's recognize the political games being played on the floor today for what they are and reject them. And because of all those reasons, Madam President, I object.